Chester's a wonderful community of around 35,000 citizens. We're a small rural county. After the textile industry went away, we struggled for some time trying to replace that.
Businesses in America's rural towns are constantly under threat of closing down. From gas stations to grocery stores, some places are even at risk of losing a community institution, their hospital.
I believe this hospital was built sometime around the 1950s, well before my time, but it was built to provide medical care for this community. And over time, it has gone through several transitions.
More than 100 rural hospitals have closed over the past decade, according to the University of North Carolina. Today, more than 600 additional rural hospitals are at risk of closing in the near future.
In order for communities to survive, there has to be some basis of medical care. And because of the cost of health care, small rural hospitals are struggling financially.
Which is why some communities are looking for unique solutions to keep these hospitals open.
Decades ago, legislators decided that it was a jobs program for rural communities to put prisons in rural communities, which sounds great. You can employ some people there. However, professionals, doctors, psychiatrists, dentists, others don't live there. You don't have programs, people, and things of that nature, and eventually you're going to run out of people to hire.
That's a 10-4.
We're going to go right here to, this is a room on our female wing.
How you doing? Why are you looking so scared?
Here in Chester County, South Carolina, this hospital was at risk of closing for good until the South Carolina Department of Corrections came into the picture.
This is a secure unit between the MUSC and the Department of Corrections. There are 36 total beds in this unit.
A wing of the abandoned rural hospital has been transformed into a health facility for inmates.
And what that does is that saves us a lot of officer time. It's going to be 36 beds, which is 36 inmates, which equals 144 officers, which would have been spread out across the state.
The $3.3 million project gives Department of Corrections a medical resource, fitting it with up-to-date security measures.
Make sure you see medical and then and see what they say to you.
Folks that are incarcerated by the Constitution, they're entitled to a standard of care. They're only ones entitled to free health care. So they have to be taken to the hospital, and if you're in the hospital and you might see an inmate in there, but you're going to see 2 officers. Now it's safer for the community and it's safer for the prisons.
And at the same time, this move saved a community hospital from disappearing, giving residents much-needed access to medical care.
Obviously, that was a boost to the economy of the hospital because it allowed some of those professionals that would go to other hospitals to come here because they would have a strong stream of patients coming from the correction system to here in Chester County.
Chester County hopes this can help recruit more doctors and nurses to the county, and the Department of Corrections hopes this inspires other states to do the same.
We looked at best practices from about 4 or 5 states from across the country. Potentially, they would have lost that hospital and maybe have to drive an hour to Columbia or an hour to Rock Hill.
Thomas Hoppo, Scripps News, South Carolina.
Thank you for joining us this week for our look at rural America. Join us next week. Our topic is free speech. In certain parts of America, the library has become a polarizing place. We're exploring the issue of book bans from multiple perspectives. Until then, from Rifle, Colorado, I'm Chris Stewart, and this is The Race.